Good afternoon. Our first item of business this afternoon is time for reflection, and our time for reflection leader is Rabbi Eli Grunewald, Jewish student chaplain in Scotland.
Presiding officer, members of the Scottish Parliament, it is a great honour to have been invited here to lead the time for reflection this afternoon. When considering a topic for today, the phrase time for reflection really caught my attention. I noticed that it can be switched around to read reflection for time. Time is the most precious commodity we have, yet we sometimes treat it as though it is unlimited. As a chaplain, it isn't strange to hear a student express feelings such as a desire to wish away today, this week, even the month, when things aren't going so well. While sympathizing with the stress and complications that often go hand in hand with student life, I'd always encourage students to resist this desire. Every day is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, one we will never have again. Robert Burns summed this up wonderfully back in 1790 in his poem Tam O'Shanter. As Burns put it, no man can tether time or tide. While I believe the poem refers to the story of a farmer and his wayward friends, this line encapsulates the certainty that time will run out eventually and will not wait for anyone or anything. Last week we celebrated Passover, the great festival of liberation. In the middle of the celebrations, we pause to do something very simple: count the days. Each day, we mention how many days have passed until the early summer festival of Pentecost. Today is day 10. Our counting helps us realize the importance of every day, every week, every month. It helps us focus on the here and now and reminds us to use our time well. It's so easy to forget that the moments in which we live become days, months, years. An ancient Jewish source, the Book of Psalms, mentions this idea of counting days. The psalmist dwells on the reality that our lives are brief, filled with challenging times, and pass us by so very quickly. He then asks God to help us to count our days wisely. Rabbi Dr. Harvey Belovsky explains, the psalmist means that when we remember that the clock is ticking for all of us, we will be more likely to use our days to the full. And when we reflect on how limited time is, when we remember how limited our time is, I believe this will help us use our time wisely and indeed give us more time for reflection. Thank you.